Speaking of our auto industry, everyone recognizes that years of bad decision making and a global recession have pushed our automakers to the brink. We should not and will not protect them from their own bad practices. But we are committed to the goal of a retooled, reimagined auto industry that can compete and win. Millions of jobs depend on it, scores of communities depend on it, and I believe the nation that invented the automobile cannot walk away from it.
It has become impossible to turn on the news without some mention of the current global financial crisis. Words like subprime mortgage, deflation, recession, and Bernie Madoff have become ubiquitous in today's world. In this video, I will cover the basics of the financial crisis as they pertain to the auto industry. Then present a model of dynamic pricing that can be used to help American motors continue to weather the current economic crisis. The auto industry crisis is global, and it began during the second half of 2008. The crisis is primarily felt in the United States auto manufacturing industry, but other manufacturers, particularly those in Canada, Europe, and Japan, are also suffering from the crisis. The auto market was first affected by rising gasoline prices linked to the oil crisis of 2003 to 2008. The high oil prices led to customers turning away from gas-guzzling sport utility vehicles, which were the primary market of the Big Three, which in America is General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler.
Vehicle sales declined 37% in November, the worst level in more than 26 years. Every major automaker reported decreases of more than 30%. But in these tough economic times, auto experts say bargain basement pricing and low-interest loans might not be enough to spur big-ticket purchases.
People still don't feel like we've hit rock bottom, and so they don't want to take any chances.
When they do, they're buying more cars and fewer trucks, an indication that even with falling gas prices, the failing economy may have broken our addiction to gas-guzzling models. For the first time since 2000, passenger cars outsold light trucks, minivans, and SUVs.
In late 2008, the global crisis and credit crunch placed pressure on the price of raw materials. This caused a greater effect in the United States as the Big Three have continually based their marketing strategies on SUVs. They suffered from the perception of increased quality of models from abroad, particularly in Japan and Europe, and from foreign cars that were assembled or made in the United States. At the beginning of 2009, the vehicle companies of the world are being hit hard by the economic slowdown across national boundaries. Car companies from Asia, Europe, North America, and elsewhere have been forced to implement creative marketing strategies to entice reluctant customers to purchase vehicles, at a time when many firms are experiencing double-digit percentage sales declines.
In part, it's the industry's own fault. They've hardly shone in the reliability stakes these past few years, and foreign manufacturers have done well on the forecourts. And they've kept on turning out gas guzzlers that have piled up unsold in the face of public demands for more eco-friendly vehicles. But they're also the victims of rising petrol prices and the collapsing economy, which have seen prospective buyers unable to get loans or unwilling to risk their cash on a new car.
Two of the Big Three, GM and Chrysler, have decided to accept government bailout money. American Motors has decided against accepting any of this money. Consider the following scenario. A car company has 5 potential buyers. Each one has a different reservation price, which is defined as the maximum a person would be willing to spend on an item. The reservation prices are on the chart. The production of one car costs $2 to the car company. Suppose the company sells their cars at a flat rate of $5, known as static pricing. The company, in this scenario, would sell to buyers 4 and 5. They'd make a profit of $6 for a profit of $3 per car. Now suppose the company enacts a dynamic pricing scheme. Suppose they sell their cars on a sliding scale, offering a standard price of $5 and a discounted price for qualified buyers of $3. Now, as you can see from the slide, they'd make a profit of $8. By offering these discounted cars, they were able to sell 2 additional cars that would not have been sold. This pricing scheme would be especially useful during the current economic times. There are some limitations to this model. Obviously, the car company has limited information. They can't feasibly ask each customer their reservation prices. Even if they could, they couldn't charge them these prices, as that would be illegal, known as perfect price discrimination. They can, however, offer discounts to certain groups of people. As an example, consider movie theater student pricing, in which different people are charged different prices for the same good.